gonna do?
Grim. That's how it looks.
I'll take Grim right now.
I am the Grim Reaper.
Bit grim.
Some bosses are good.
And make it grim.
A grim tale indeed.
It's a little grim. Meaningless and grim.
It's the Grim!
It's Grim.
Pretty grim, huh?
Things look grim.
War. War never changes.
I just want to talk. Blue moon, you saw. It's all over.
There'll be blue purple.
Have a cup of tea. Oh, the sexy baby rolling with the boop-a-lack wee. Thunder is steady roll and the clock strikes 4. Everything stops for tea. Tea. Oh, a lawyer in the courtroom in the middle of an elevated scene. And stop the album ball when the clock strikes 4. Everything stops for tea.
Evening all. Let's escape the horrible dystopia of our real lives by delving into a horrible dystopia in a post-atomic wasteland. This should be the finale for the Fallout 2D20 campaign, but if it ends up running long, there might be another session in a couple of weeks. Otherwise, we'll be returning to our smorgasbord of games that I haven't played from my collection. So either way, stuff to look forward to. Let's bring in the players. Evening all. So this may or may not be the last game. So who wants to earn an extra XP by giving us a recap?
I missed like a session, so I don't know what happens.
Yeah, I think Anton's been doing the best job at that.
That's not a high bar. So we went on our big road trip. Where did we stop? We passed Slaver area, the Swindonians.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to run us off the road. We managed to take care of their little buggies. We got stopped by a checkpoint with a guy with a big scissors for hands. I know John has that weapon now.
Yep, after we dragged him to death.
Yeah,
we dragged his corpse to death.
Did we just blow through that checkpoint? I think we just blew
we blew through it.
Yeah, and we tugged him on a rope hanging from the back of the bus.
Yep, my trusty cable and magnet.
And then we ended up at we were at entering Wales right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, as if by magic, the shopkeeper appeared. We are live, just so you know. And you just missed the recap.
That's okay, I didn't need a recap.
Okay, let me just bring up my map. So I had everything all nicely set up, and then I had to leave my desk for a sec, and I tripped over my USB hub. So I had to restart everything, and then it wanted to do updates. So, yeah.
I know how that is.
Yeah. Trouble is, if my USB hub goes out, then I lose my mic, and I lose my headphones, and they don't come back up until I restart the whole machine.
Nice.
Heath Robinson device. Right. Yes, so you had crossed the Severn Bridge by basically murdering everyone and then driving through as fast as possible. So getting across into Wales, which isn't claimed by any particular faction, you skirted along the south coast of Wales, skirting around the glowing atomic craters of Newport and Cardiff, and barely seeing a soul for quite some time until you entered the sort of final stretch towards Port Talbot, which is your ultimate destination. Then you started to run into a few caravans making their way back east towards England, most of them drawn by animals, a few jalopies and cobbled together vehicles, but your battle bus is quite distinctive. So you're running kind of parallel to the coast. You start to smell the kind of slightly fetid, salty sea air, and then more and more smoke. The sky ahead of you is a bit of a smudge, and when Port Talbot finally comes into view, well, you're not entirely sure what you were expecting, but this is what you find. So it's an old, massive, deep water trading port where really big cargo vessels used to be able to come in and out. So there was a whole lot of machinery and storage and all of that sort of thing. And then back from that part of the city, that's where people lived. It seems to have been spared any direct atomic blasts, but there are still the scars from the Great War everywhere in terms of burnt out buildings, places that have been torn down and deconstructed. Now everyone seems to be crowded up against the coast. They seem to have used all the old shipping containers to make buildings, and they're kind of a higgledy-piggledy mass, as if some gigantic child was playing with their building bricks and just sort of scattered them everywhere. But there is smoke rising everywhere, signs of industry and fires, perhaps, to keep people warm, though it's not that cold at the moment. And there are a few ships seemingly in port. Not the massive ships of yesteryear, but certainly large enough transport vessels and bigger than anything you would have expected to see here. You are slowly approaching a checkpoint on the outskirts of the settlement.
Is this the direction the signal comes from?
This is where you're supposed to go. Yes, the last place you were told to go.
Okay. Just want to make sure it matched up. So the checkpoint, is it armed or?
So there's it's an old motorway. So there's like 3 lanes, 4 lanes on either side. And so there's about 6 to 8 big shipping containers piled up across the way, and an old truck plugging the middle, which is just about wide enough for you to be able to fit the bus through if you want to. The barrier has been reinforced with all kinds of junk, and there's some old fishing nets thrown over it, holding together a bunch of other junk, and sandbags piled up. So they seem reasonably competent. The guards are armed, but not with anything super serious. You can see a couple of people behind makeshift battlements with crossbows, maybe a shotgun. So, yeah, they're not hugely well armed, but they do seem organized.
Are there any symbols or anything that match the one we blew through on the other end?
They don't seem to belong to the same gang or necessarily any gang. The only symbol that you can see is a spray-painted anchor on the side of the containers.
Well, what do you think? We want to try to go up peacefully this time?
Well, if they haven't started shooting, that's probably the best bet.
All right. Well, Jeeves, you're driving, so.
Yes, I am.
Want to take us in?
You want me to roll for this, Grim?
You got the hang of the bus a bit more.
Well, put an extra point into pilot, so hopefully.
I am seeing the comments, but I want to concentrate on play, but they are making me laugh. Not yet, because you won't be able to go straight through. The only difficult part of driving through here will be navigating through the narrow part if they remove the truck. But you join a small queue of traders heading up. Ooh. Full house. Hello, we are live.
Hello. Sorry.
Yeah.
Save Martha.
Quick recap. You drove through Wales, skirting around a couple of big craters where a couple of Welsh cities used to be, and have arrived at Port Talbot, which still seems to be in some manner of operation. And you're approaching a checkpoint before you get into the city itself. So that's you all caught up. All right. So a few other caravans and traders are making their way through. So you join the queue with the engines idling. And then finally, it's your turn to approach the gate. For each and every person, they have hauled the truck out of the way and then pushed it back again. So it's quite a laborious, long process. As you get to the front, a rather severe-looking ghoul woman in an old, raggedy sort of pinstripe woman's business suit comes forward with an old battered clipboard with a pencil on a bit of string. She has
always ghouls.
She has a pair of half moon spectacles with the hanging chains perched on her nose, but it's not her nose. She doesn't seem to have a nose, so instead she seems to have glued one of those sort of Marx Brothers fake spectacle things, noses to her face instead, and then the glasses are perched on that. What's your business here?
I'm looking for a new summer home to retire to.
She peers at you over her glasses with her milky ghoul eyes without blinking, possibly because she has no eyelids. No, seriously.
No, seriously, I got 2 weeks to retire.
We're from a vault back there. She looks proudly at the detective since she resisted giving the number of the vault. We're from a vault back in the UK, and we were sent here by our vault to await further instruction.
I see. That
Martha?
somehow seems less plausible.
Martha, we need to have a talk about having talks.
Is there anyone who looks after you that I could talk to?
Nope, just us.
You, robot. Well, why are you here?
I'm here to see a man about a dog.
He's not wrong.
I see. Just a moment. She steps away and picks up the microphone of a battered old radio and starts talking backwards and forwards in it. Let's see. How much trouble have you got yourselves into by being smartasses?
I am literally here to see a man about a dog.
There you Right. Okay. She comes back. Very well. Anything to declare? Any particular weapons or anything we should know about? Do you have anything to trade?
That depends. Do you have any bigger weapons that I can have?
You'll have to speak to the traders inside, but
We're always looking for new gear. It's been a little while we've been on the road.
do you have bags or caps? We do have some trade with the other Americans.
We have some both.
Against my better judgment, you can come in.
Against your better judgment. Is there something wrong with us?
Somewhat evasive. She waves to some of the men up on top of the of the battlements, and the truck is laboriously moved out of the way by a team of Aurochs.
Does she want our life story or something?
Jeeves, make a roll if you would, to navigate the bus through the narrow gap without losing wing mirrors or scratching all the paint off. Or...
No, 2 fails.
2 fails. Okay.
Can I navigate over his shoulder again?
You can have a bonus dice. Yes. I think given past experience, you would probably be kibitzing.
Another fail.
Is it my pilot and what?
I'm just doing it given my bonus dice. You did, so.
Thought you were going to have me roll.
For now.
So the car is your elevator, is it?
After a fashion. All right. So Jeeves crawls slowly forward and very, very slowly and carefully scrapes metal along the entire left-hand side of the bus, losing the left-hand wing mirror in the process and leaving a lot of paint scratched all along the side of the container. It's, like that scene in like that scene in Galaxy Quest.
Who put that there?
Right. You roll on. You roll on inside. Yeah, so there is street would be far too generous a word. There is a pathway, sort of ribbon of mud leading down towards the docks, and on either side of it, everywhere, are shipping containers, lean-tos, shanty huts, all of that. It's quite busy. There's all manner of weird people from all around the country and possibly further afield walking around. You know, gangs of tribals trying to trade bones and pelts for guns and bullets. Members of the royalist military, members of the non-royalist military, both of them staring daggers at each other. There does seem to be some sort of security force that looks after the place. They wear jumbles of different armor, carry different weapons, mostly shotguns, crossbows, and melee weapons, but all have this anchor symbol sprayed on them. So that seems to be the symbol for the city, well, whatever it is. So there's a bunch of different traders, a whole lot of people squirreled away in their shipping crate houses, and this long path down to the actual docks where there are a couple of ancient atomic-powered cargo ships in dock and a whole host of smaller vessels.
Check our orders on the Pip-Boy. What is it exactly they want us to do here?
I believe it was find the greenhouse, and you have a code phrase that you were supposed to give.
Okay, which is also on the Pip-Boy?
No, because it was deleted. So unless you remember it or made note yourself, you might be having a fun time.
I want to find a medical trader, some kind of doctor or some medical.
I will let you make like intelligence rolls to figure out what the passphrase was. Medical trade. So you got a couple of options as the bus trundles slowly down the street. As you're trundling, you note that one of the city guards sort of comes over and keeps station with you, walking along with you as you drive through the mud. Your battle bus attracts quite a lot of attention from people, turns a lot of heads. There are working vehicles, but not that many of them. So little wonder, really. Maybe a bit more attention than you would have liked. But as you're trundling along, you pass by a shop with the word healer on a big wooden sign hanging over the front of it, only it's spelled Heala.
I'll go inside.
You pop the door on the bus, and a rather fishy smell mixed with wood smoke and human excrement and a slight tang of salt air wafts in. The first proper sniff you've gotten since you came in. It hits you like a brick. Step down off the steps of the bus, and your feet sink a couple of inches into the thick black mud that lines the street, and trudge your way over to the healer.
Well,
Martha,
you
do you
wouldn't
want-
think a nuclear apocalypse happened out here, would you?
Martha, do you want anyone to join you before you?
Yeah. You can come join. Everyone's welcome to join.
I'm more worried about you wandering off alone.
Yeah, that's nice of you.
So I jump down and follow her.
There's a plastic curtain across the front of the shop, and a whole bunch of herbs and seaweed and parts of animals and parts of people all hanging outside to dry.
Knock, knock. Says as she enters.
Come in.
Hi, I was hoping to trade for some supplies.
It's a rather hunched old woman in a sort of patchwork dress, a bit of a hump, one eye, and a little walking stick, kind of gender swapped version of Yoda, really, minus the green skin in here. And there's even more herbs and things hanging everywhere, and a whole bunch of mismatched plastic bottles, jars, pots, and things hanging everywhere else. An old electric lantern hangs from the ceiling, giving everything a slightly green-tinged glow. Ah, yes. And what's troubling you, young lady?
I was hoping to get a first aid kit, any Med X if you have it, and if you have any steady.
Yeah, I don't really deal with that muck. It's not good for you. All those old pharmaceuticals, they're degraded. All kinds of nasty elements in there. Mercury, for example. There's mercury in many of those injections. It's terrible. Could make you not right in the head. No, here we deal with natural and holistic remedies. But I do have first aid kits of my own manufacture.
Okay, first aid kits then.
Let me see. Where did I put it? She starts rummaging around.
And nothing like rubbing essential oils on a sucking chest wound.
Exactly. There's a pen too that you can write to lengthen your lifeline if you're dying. Yeah, things like that. Eventually, with an aha, she emerges from the pile of junk with a couple of small leather bags. Here we are, healing kits.
Could I check the content?
Of course. Make sure everything is in order. The cloth is boiled. The vinegar is freshly distilled, and the other parts have been attended to with equal fervor.
Does it seem like these kits are something resembling effective?
Something approaching effective.
Are there at least like bandages and disinfectant and
bandages? Very strong distilled vinegar to use as disinfectant.
Thread and
some needle and thread, and the needle's blackened, so it looks like it's been sterilized over a fire and then put in a little package. So the basics seem kosher, but there's also like bundles of herbs and things.
I'd love to trade for, say, 2 of these.
And what do you have to trade, young lady?
I think what could be quite helpful for you in your business here is I have a medical manual here from a veterinarian.
Is it all that modern medicine rubbish?
It's from the old world, so not too much chemicals or radiation. I'm sure you get some sick animals coming your way.
People are animals.
Exactly. It could be very helpful to expand your medical repertoire.
Let me have a look.
I'll let her have a look.
She leafs through it. There's an interesting article in here about what to do if your beast has eaten certain dangerous plants. So those dangerous plants might be quite useful in other contexts. Very well. I shall take your book in exchange for 2 of my healing kits.
Excellent. Thank you.
Sure you don't want anything else, young lady?
She's actually quite curious. So you make these medicines just with the natural environs?
Yes.
Probably read some edible mushroom and edible plant books, even though none such exist in the vault.
Yeah. Well, there might be some fungus or mold around occasionally. So there might be something. She nods vigorously. Oh, yes. All locally sourced ingredients.
Do you have something that could approximate the effects of, say, Med X?
That's the one that makes you hale, hearty, and tough, right?
That's right.
Yes, I think I have something that could do that for you. Well, what do you have to trade for that?
I could trade. Oh, I have some glowing fungus. I don't know if that's common around these parts of Wales.
Yeah, you have to go delving into the craters to find much of it. Let me have a look.
Or this was, I think I collected it when we were attacked by that soda ghoul.
Yeah. Very unusual. I'm used to seeing green, but not purple. Smells like summer fruits.
It's quite potent.
Very well. These seem very rare. I'll have to experiment to see exactly what they do. But yes, let me just knock you something up really quick.
Yeah, maybe given its rarity, I'll barter for something more. If you have 2 Med-X approximations, and could you make something that makes one better at aiming and shooting guns?
No, I'm not a miracle worker.
That's steady, but that's okay. I guess that one requires quite a bit of mercury to.
Yeah. Yes.
What
That's
about
terrible.
something to calm the nerves? Wouldn't that do the trick?
I find a nice cup of tea and a wank does wonders for that.
Me too. Huh.
Yeah. See, he knows.
Yeah, it's just it's hard to get that working from a sniper's nest.
Think of it as a challenge.
It depends how big the nest is, I guess.
Maybe a certain someone from our world recently could have used a cup of tea. Better.
Please don't. I'm in enough trouble.
Sorry. Yeah, we'll trade for your all natural Med-X equivalency. We could say 2, given the rarity of this.
She grabs a bunch of bottles and jars seemingly at random, grinds a whole bunch of them up, pours what seems to be vodka from a bottle into the ground up mess, turns it into a paste, heats it over a candle until it dries out a bit, and then wraps it up in little bits of tin foil. And we are.
While I'm watching this, could I make a medicine roll to make sure that she's not like making poison, that there could be plausible medical
yeah, you can roll that.
Let's see. My medicine is so I got 1 success.
Yeah, good enough. You're fairly sure it won't poison you.
All right. Deal. We'll make the code.
1 second. Okay. Yeah, so mark that stuff down on your sheet. And, all right. What next?
Well, let's get back in the bus and see if we can find that greenhouse.
Oh, I'll ask her. Hey, do you know where we could find a greenhouse?
Greenhouse? You mean a house that is green, or a place where they grow plants?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, lots of people maintain little greenhouses here and there on the top of the stacks where they grow what they can, which isn't much out here, to be honest. Otherwise, you have to leave the settlement to really find anything like that. And the trouble with greenhouses is they're easy to spot. People come and steal what you have. Unless you mean the ship.
What's the ship?
There's a ship that comes in every so often. I think it's in the dock right now. They have a sort of greenhouse on their top deck where they grow a lot of food, trade some of it here in exchange for supplies. They're Americans like you. You'll probably get on with them.
Martha's eyes light up at that. That's got to be it.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're quite welcome. Feel free to leave a tip, a small gratuity. Or don't.
Seeing what I got.
Well, if no one else does, then I suppose that I will go and give her 20 tea bags.
Jesus Christ.
That's a huge
That's a
tip.
lot.
That's a mega tip.
Like
If you're buying her shop.
I have a lot of tea bags. So.
Are you?
Yes, but that's buying her shop. Remember, each one was 10 caps.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was about to say, like, yeah, are you expecting her to have sex with you or something afterward?
He wants to buy the entire store and settle down.
Are you filming this for your channel?
No, I give her
You can bribe our way in.
2 tea bags.
It's still a
It's
very
still
good
ridiculous.
Okay. I don't give her anything then.
You're a cap.
I dropped the 5 caps I have left in the till.
Thank you. Might be able to buy some American snack cakes with that. Delicious, but also radioactive.
All right, we'll trudge back to the
Get
bus.
back to the bus before Vera buys everything. The next adventure, Vera's shopping trip.
Yeah. Maybe Vera's stuck in the pre-war mindset where she thinks tea bags aren't really worth anything.
Yeah, I think that's the case, except she didn't live pre-war, so she's just getting pre-war mindset from videos and stuff.
Pre-war Alzheimer's.
Once we get to the bus, from our turret thing there on top, can we
Yep.
see the ship she's talking about?
So yeah, with the opera glasses and looking down this great big muddy slope down to the sea, there's a couple of these trading vessels there and a whole bunch of kind of patched together fishing vessels as well.
Mhm.
But one of them, has a massive polytunnels on top of it, and through gaps in the polytunnels, you can see green stuff growing. There seems to be a reasonably sizable crew wandering around over it, loading and unloading things, making repairs to the hull. And at both ends of the ship are great big flagpoles with old, faded, fluttering American flags flapping away in the breeze.
All right. Check the Pip-Boy again. So does it actually say greenhouse or greenhouse?
It says greenhouse, as
But all
in
one word?
yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's not what I thought it said.
You sure it
Well-
doesn't say GRUENE house? Could be
Well,
German.
let's head down there then. Jeeves, can you take us safely down this hill?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I said, Jeeves, can you take us safely down the hill
I can
Good.
certainly try.
to the docks at the bottom there?
All right. So
I am desperately looking over his shoulder.
well, just trundling slowly down a slight incline certainly seems to be within Jeeves's skill set.
Unless he forgets
So-
what a break is.
So you drive slowly down the hill until you arrive at the bottom. There seems to be like a market set up here within a circle of shipping containers, and that seems to be where most of the trade between locals and others is going on, either between caravans and the ships or either group and the locals. There's a few more guards than usual around here, plus many traders have their own security details, mercenaries and so on, who are all trying to kind of out-gruff each other. It's cute, really. And beyond that market space are the docks, and there the ships.
Okay. Is there any
All right.
spot that looks big enough to park the truck, bus, excuse me?
Yeah, there's plenty of space where you could park it.
Well,
Now are me, Vera, and Jeeves gonna be all right going on this ship?
no idea. We don't even know anything about it yet.
I thought it was from your vault.
The
the-
messages,
so-
but I've never talked to him before.
All right.
Grim,
Yep.
although I, the player, I can't for the foggiest remember what the message is. My guy's supposed to be dutiful, meticulous, and a stickler. I'm sure he wrote it down in his that notepad he carries.
Can make an intelligence roll to remember the code word.
Intelligence and what?
What would work for memory?
Actually, I got a faster way. I'll just spend a luck point to remember.
Okay, fair enough.
There you go.
Right. I should still have my plot and NPCs open, though. That would help. Now, I've forgotten what the phrase was, so we shall make it the geese are flying high this year. I forget what that's originally from, but it's a kind of joke spy phrase.
Okay. Well, get out and start heading my way to that ship. Does anyone want to come with me?
All right.
I'll come join.
I'll go.
All right. Who wants to stay with the truck so the battle bus doesn't get stolen? I know we
Jeez,
have
I'll
to
stay with it.
here.
Well, the guard who's been following you says, not to worry, we guarantee the safety of your vehicle.
Okay, Jeeves, you can
Well,
come with us.
I still think we should take the key out of it, and it has a fusion power core, right?
Yeah.
Pull the fusion power core too,
Okay.
because I don't trust anybody. Then we had
Everything shuts down. It almost,
Find a
when you
suit of
unplug it,
power armor
almost
somewhere.
after you unplug it, it almost seems like the bus kind of sags into its wheels. Poor thing.
air ride.
All right. The dock is a bit tumble down, heavily patched. Everything is cocooned in rust and barnacles. There's big patches of mutated muscles clinging to things here and there. Probably not terribly edible. That's the only reason they would still be there, you think. There is a great big, again, heavily patched metal gangplank running from the shore to the ship. They're not using any of the cranes, though the rusting hulks, a few of them are still standing. Rather, they're taking material on and off the ship in a series of hand carts. But there is a guy who seems to be overseeing it all in a old, heavy, but now threadbare sort of fisherman's double-breasted coat, woolen hat pulled down over his ears, cigarette dangling from his mouth, smoking slightly as he ticks things off and scribbles things down.
Is he specifically for the ship we're looking for, or the dock?
Looks like it for this particular ship.
All right. So go up to him and ask, "Hey, you, is your captain about?"
Turns and looks you up and down. Nice threads.
They are.
The captain is on board ship, dealing with things as per usual. But can I help you?
The geese are flying high this season.
You just said it wrong.
Oh, I said it wrong. What is it?
No, I don't answer you. I just say you said it wrong.
She would have remembered. This is player being not.
Yeah, I spent a luck point to remember.
Maybe we should make it a flaw for characters. Player is ditzy. To get some extra character points.
We've been sent here to see your captain.
Well, it looks over at Martha as if her head had spun round on her shoulders when she said that, even if it was slightly wrong. And then looks back to you. Oh, yeah? Who sent you?
The vault.
It's a lot of vaults.
Our overseer.
It's a lot of overseers.
I look
But
around, make
not-
sure no one's looking over my shoulder.
It's like a bad game or something.
And then I
Oh,
explain what vault.
Martha smiles so smugly, arms.
Yes.
crossed.
I'm aware.
Detective John Down says the number of the vault.
Yes. So that then I say, Vault 501. I'm sent here by overseer.
All right. I'll inform the captain and see what he says. Then he turns around and hollers to one of the other sailors. You, take over. And another guy takes over.
I thought we weren't supposed to tell people that we were from Vault 51.
We're not. And it's 501.
This is like the Wild Wasteland or Low Intelligence dialogue.
I'm sorry, son. I tried to put back everything as best I could, but, well, I had to leave a few bits out.
She's taking the piss.
Okay. Do you want to do anything while you wait?
I can wait. I mean, the rest of the can wander around, check things out if they want. I'll wait for them.
Jeeves, You hear
I'm gonna look for a dog.
Well, I was just going to say, as you're standing there while everyone else is talking and sorting things out, you start hearing a sound like rain on metal coming from your right leg.
I will look down and see what's
There
going on.
is a Welsh corgi pissing on your leg.
Mighty corgi.
I understand dog behavior somehow. It's marking me as belonging to it.
So it would seem.
Hello, little master.
It looks up at you. Its tongue lolls out the side of its mouth.
Found a new purpose in life.
Wow, those suckers are little tiny things too, eh?
Really good herd dogs, though. For herding cattle. And they have very pronounced buttocks, which is weird in a dog.
Corgis?
It just sits. Yeah, corgis. It just sits and looks up at you. It's the way their fur hangs. It makes them look like a fat little butts. It just sits there in the mud and looks up at you derpily. Doesn't have a collar. Doesn't seem to belong to anyone.
Well, no, but I now belong to it. It pissed on me.
Yes, you have been claimed.
So where are we going now, master?
It just cocks its head slightly and looks at the others, just glad to be the center of attention.
Okay, well, I suppose you can follow me and I will pick up after you and serve you food.
Hug you and kiss you and call you George.
Yep.
How far away are they when we're hearing this?
Well, he came right over to where you were all.
That doesn't matter.
What
What I was asking is how close are Jeeves and that little dog to where I'm standing?
Pretty close at the moment.
All right. So then when he starts saying all that shit to the dog, I look down at Junkyard going, not a chance. I ain't doing any of that shit.
Junkyard growls at you and then wanders over to sniff the corgi's butt. And the two of them do that circling thing, nose to tail, for a bit. They seem happy.
Is the corgi female?
Do you want it to be female?
Well, it would mean that it can breed with Junkyard.
It is female.
Then we can have lots of little dogs.
That's going to be painful since he's a what do you call it? A German no, Rottweiler. You said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rottweiler.
Nature finds a way.
Nature finds a way.
Would that be a Korgweiler? But just an abomination. It's a really angry dog that can't get you because it's got tiny legs. Maybe that's why it's angry. Right. All right. So, did anyone want to wander around or do anything while you're waiting for the quartermaster to get back?
Like I said, I'm waiting for the quartermaster, so you guys are free to go do stuff.
We're waiting on somebody to trade weapons with.
Oh, there's a market right there. They might have some weapons.
Yeah.
I'll go hit the market then.
I'll follow.
All right. So mostly,
I could do some more 5 grenades.
Vera could, of course, go shop.
Yes, I can go shop.
yeah. Mostly, it's the weapons that they have here are local things. There's a lot of junk-made pipe guns, ancient pre-war shotguns, a lot of bats, including cricket bats, a lot of pipes cobbled together, weapons, weaponized, kitchen knives, shit like that. But there's a few foreign, more high-tech weapons and a few ex-military weapons here and there as well. So if you're after something exotic, you have a chance of getting it.
Mostly after I'm something that just kills much more effectively than this 10 millimeter. Because it's not a Fallout game if you just wander around with a pistol all the time.
You could always mod it.
You can't mod it enough to where it kills things quicker.
Well, what are you after?
I don't have like a list of weapons or anything for Fallout, but
You can
basically
remember from the game.
I can remember from the game. Yeah. The auto shotguns were particularly nasty from what I remember. So
Yeah, the combat shotguns.
yeah. So let's see if they got one.
Do you have anything to trade?
I have this whole handful of tea bags.
Yeah, but are you buying it for me? I mean, what are you expecting in return?
I'll buy it, and I'll get some more for us, for everyone.
Have you got enough to buy a fat man?
It's been a long time for her, you know.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
So yeah, what are they asking for the auto shotgun and a bunch of ammo?
5 tea bags.
I get
No,
5
hang on.
bags.
No, 10 tea bags. Sorry.
10 tea bags. I get 10 tea bags, and do they have a fat man?
They do not have a fat man.
Any laser rifles or plasma rifles?
Well, one thing at a time. Do you want any shells for that shotgun?
Yeah, could need some shells for that thing.
3 caps each.
All right, buy a bunch.
Okay. Well, how much
I
money
have
you got?
no caps on me.
I got 55 caps. So
Okay. Do you want the stats for that shotgun?
I would probably need those. Yeah.
All right. It's very basic and has been stripped down to the core gun. Right? So it has a short, stubby magazine and no stock. It has a damage rating of 5. Its special effect is spread.
Okay, so 5 damage.
Yeah, 5 dice of damage. Special effect is spread. Sounds like a dog when you pull the trigger.
Yep.
Yeah. Does physical damage. Has a fire rate of 2.
Mm-hmm.
So range is close. It is inaccurate and 2-handed.
What? Wait a minute. Oh, how much is the mag, by the way?
Well, it was 3 caps per shot. So.
No, I mean, how many rounds does it hold?
Oh, you don't keep track of that in this for some reason. I think you're just assumed to reload as needed.
It only does 5 damage,
but it has spread, so you can hit multiple people with it, and that's still up 1 on the pistol.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm just, shotguns normally just kind of tear people to pieces. So.
Oh, they're pretty deadly in this game. I've fired one at a level 1 player. Well, level 1 player character. Let me be clear. As long as we're trying to be safe on here.
I mean, you could always slap some mods on it again.
If I can afford them, yeah.
25 caps for a powerful receiver, which gives +2 damage.
That'd be nice.
35 caps for an advanced receiver, which does +3 damage and increases the fire rate.
How many caps?
35.
Yeah, I gotta have that.
Okay, so +3 damage and increase the fire rate by 1.
Nice.
There
we go.
That
leaves my ass broke, but now I have a weapon worthy
And you got some rounds for it?
I did.
So the Welsh for dog meat is Cig Key. It's a weird language.
I want to see. Do they have what they have in the way of rifles, like a combat rifle or an anti-material rifle?
Oh my god.
There is no anti-material rifle, but there is a similarly stripped down combat rifle.
She doesn't want small guns.
Nobody does.
The combat. I mean, is the combat rifle still a small guns? I know the hunting rifle was small guns.
Yes, it's still small gun.
And how does that compare to the hunting rifle? I imagine probably more damage, just overall better.
So 5D damage, physical damage, fire rate 2, medium range, two-handed for the baseline gun.
Okay.
Yeah, the hunting rifle is actually better.
Oh.
Because it has 1 extra damage in piercing.
Yeah, then I'll just need to buy some bullets.
Should try to get your hunting rifle modified then.
Yeah. How much? What kind of modifications can I get?
Let me see. Hunting rifle. So there's receiver mods. So hardened, powerful, advanced, calibrated. Can't make that automatic. Could give it. No, you couldn't give it a hair trigger because it's bolt action. Or you could change the caliber.
Yeah. What would make it do more damage?
So you could change the barrel for a 50 caliber barrel, and calibrate and give it an advanced receiver. So that would make it do 11 damage.
Yeah, I'll do the. And is there a mod that can make it more accurate, easier to hit targets?
Yes. So you could add a proper scope to it. All right. What have you got in the way of caps then?
How many caps did we start with? I think I didn't write it down. But how did you guys get all your caps? Oh, 20 caps. I have 20 caps, but I can check some other stuff.
So if you want to give it an advanced receiver to boost the damage, that would be 35 caps.
Could I trade my rivet gun for all of those? Which I already my fully upgraded rivet gun for.
Yeah, they'll take the rivet gun and upgrade your rifle for you. Okay, so so your rifle does 11 damage.
Let me write this down. Rifle. Okay, 11 damage.
Has the vicious quality. Now takes 0.50 ammunition. Okay. And has a short scope that gives it the trait accurate.
And could I trade in? I have 7 rifle rounds. Could I just trade them for 0.50?
As part of the deal, yeah.
Okay. And I'd love to buy some more rounds for that with my caps.
Okay. So 0.50 ammunition costs 4 caps per round.
And I have 20 caps for, so 20 divided by
5
is 5. I mean, this is
radical.
Some metagaming. This is our last session.
Probably.
I'll just spend all the caps on it, then get 5 more.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so they slide the 50 caliber bullets one at a time across the counter to you. Wow, those are big and heavy. But yeah, they just spirit your rifle away into the back of the market stall. You hear, machinery noises, and then they bring it back. It's nice, new big barrel.
Mm.
Anyone else?
So I am too broke to afford a new weapon, but I think I could get with trading the Beta Wave tuner. If I'm reading that right, page 103.
I'm using the quick reference. So.
Oh, okay.
There's an energy weapon mod, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beta Wave tuner. So it turns it into an incendiary weapon.
Yeah, a microwave.
30 caps. Yeah.
All right, so I've got 2 bags, which is 20 caps. Would they be interested in some distilled water?
Yeah, people are always interested in that. So, yeah, if you want to trade that in for it.
I've got 6 jugs. I'll put.
Well, you do have a severe mutation. 6 jugs. I think only the dog has 6 jugs.
All right, yeah. So, how much am I going to get per gallon?
Let's see. Distilled water. Weapons, armor, power armor. Right, that's not what we want. Chems, no. Consumables is what we want. Should be near here. Food. No. Liberation. Okay, this doesn't actually have the consumables in it. Okay, that explains why I'm having a problem. Fuck it, rather than spending time looking it up. Yeah, so that, how many big cartons have you got of that? Bags?
6 days of distilled water.
That's got to be worth at least 60 caps, hasn't it?
If you say so.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Clean water. Yeah. All right.
So I'll give them 3 days worth.
Anyone else before the quartermaster comes back?
As much as I want to get some more guns, I don't have any skill in firearms, big guns, small guns, energy weapons, so don't mind me. I'll just stick around hanging out.
Suicide vest? Anyone can use that.
Yeah. Last game session, why not?
I mean, okay.
Peace, bitches. All right. As you finish your shopping and return to Downs with your various purchases and your dog, the quartermaster is sort of slowly and nonchalantly walking down the gangway. Yeah, the captain will see you and all your crew, so come on up.
Thank you. I'll follow him up.
Okay. As you walk on up the gantry, there's a guy hanging over the side of the ship with a brush, washing off the side. And you can see that this great big ship was called the SS Sequoia.
Okay.
Registered in Panama, it seems. Bless you.
Thank you.
Once you get up on deck, you kind of immediately have to duck under some of these polytunnels, which cover virtually the entire top of the ship. The men with wheelbarrows seem to almost, as second nature, know when they have to duck. Everywhere under here is just laid out with tray upon tray and sack upon sack of compost and dirt. But the smell of the greenery, something you you haven't probably smelt since working in the arboretums and so on in the vault. It smells green and fresh. You don't recognize all of the plants and things growing here, but there's fruit. There are people picking it, standing out of the way as the people with the wheelbarrows come past. There's
Mute
a
fruit.
lot of food growing here. Most of it meat fruit, probably, yeah. And potatoes.
Fuck, you following through?
Yeah, he starts leading you back through all the polytunnels towards the back of the ship. You pass by more people working. Can you make alertness type rolls, please? So let's make it perception and survival, I think, is what we've defaulted to a lot.
All of us?
Yeah, anyone who's paying attention to their surroundings.
2.
3 successes.
Nice.
2 successes.
Okay, so what, Martha got the most?
I got 2
Alright.
failures.
Got dog fur on your optic sensor.
Yeah. Well, actually, remember, me and Jeeves both are 1 difficulty less because of dog meats.
Yeah. Okay. Well, enough of you notice as you're going along that several of the people working on the plants, like individually picking off bugs with tweezers, making sure they're all watered and so on. Quite a few of them have metal collars around their necks with blinking ominous red lights on them.
Nice.
She'll ask one of them what the collar is for. Is that is that
Assume it's a
tool
slavery
helping
collar.
around?
They just stare at you. What do you mean? What's it for?
The collar. I haven't seen people wearing them yet.
Oh, if I run away, it goes boom.
The color leaves her face. That's a Detective John
And if I
Downs.
don't get back to my work, it'll give me a jolt. So, if you don't mind, and he goes back to carefully tweezering aphids off the leaf.
I don't think these people are Americans. I mean, they can't be part of Vault-Tec. Slavery has been illegal for hundreds of years. We fought a war over it.
Look, we have a mission to get done. We do the mission, and then we leave.
It's a different world out here. And I don't think the old rules apply.
She reluctantly follows, but is now crestfallen that we're working with.
The quartermaster sort of cranks an old, rusted, round door lock and opens it up to the interior. You're lucky we don't normally let people inside while we're in dock. Come on in. He stands aside and holds the door open.
Look in.
It's pretty... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, look in before, step in.
Peeling paint, rust stains, but everything looks shipshape and functional. Just battered and old, and that's hardly surprising. Bit cramped.
Is there a handle on the outside of on the inside of the door and no locking on the outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone's going in?
Yep.
All right. He closes the door behind you and rolls the thing back into place and pulls a lever that locks it so no one can get in from outside again. Then he leads you through the interior of the ship. It looks like things have been modified quite a lot in here. There's scorch marks on the walls here and there, and some of the interior doors have been opened up to be a bit bigger, which probably isn't safe if any water gets on board, but they must have had reasons for doing it. He stops you in what seems to be like a machine shop on this deck. There's a few other sailors hanging around, wearing that same sort of mismatched armor and so on. But you see that they're all carrying sidearms at least. Can you make those perception survival rolls again, please?
I got a 20 and a success.
Okay, so
I got 3.
I got 1 success.
2 fails.
Okay. I can't really give you any particular trouble here, so I will just give myself an extra token. No one else got 20s, right?
No.
Nope.
I got 3 successes and dog meat soap.
Yeah. So anyone who got 2 or more successes.
Oh, I definitely didn't.
So these sailors, they're rather obviously and ostentatiously wearing their sidearms on thigh holsters. But as one of them sort of bends over, grinding some flash off the side of a piece of metal on the kit, his jacket rides up, and you see that he has a much more high-tech looking pistol tucked in a back holster.
Okay.
The quartermaster stops you in here, says, before I convey you to the captain, I'm afraid I'm going to have to take your weapons from you.
I just bought this, man.
You'll get it back.
Well, I don't think we all should be disarmed. So why don't me and one other disarm, and the rest of you wait here.
I'll come with you.
I'm not taking off my shotgun.
Yeah.
No, guys, keep your weapons and stay here, and then just the 2 of us will go. Because I'm not too thrilled with the idea of taking all our weapons off and then departing from here without them.
Do either of you have concealable weapons? I can slip you the knife that she has, which is concealable.
As you will see, I'm not carrying any weapons.
That's a good point.
There's not a lot we can do about you, Mr. Robot, but the captain would like to see all of you.
Well, again, I don't think we're going to disarm. We've been through a lot of shit, and every time someone says, we need you to disarm, they then start shooting at us.
We won't start shooting at you.
Well, yeah,
Swear to God.
They all say that.
Do you want to meet the captain or not?
Like I said, why don't part of us stay here, and then a couple of us go with you?
Because the captain wants to meet all of you. One of the other sailors pipes up. You should just do what Mr. Bubblebath says. He's not one to go easy or change his mind.
I'll take Martha up on that offer, though, to conceal a knife.
If we're all going in, she'll keep it on her. Yeah.
All right.
I give my 3 frag grenades and my shotgun to the quartermaster.
Okay. You see them place your weapons into a metal locker on the side of the machine shop. And close the door and twist the little knob, but it doesn't look like it actually has a lock. It's just they're putting them there, somewhere out of the way, somewhere safe. All right. See, that wasn't so difficult now, was it?
Yeah, it'll be fine, guys. Don't worry. Everything that happened before this is just little bumps in the road along the way to here. We're finally at our final destination, so don't worry. This will go smoothly, I promise.
All right. Well, follow me. So he leads you further through the ship. So the main part of like the engine room and the bridge and everything is all at the back of the ship, raised up. But the interior has been reconfigured quite a few times. You think it's a bit of a warren, but he leads you through there and into an area where the door has been crudely stenciled with a spray can to say "Officers' Mess." On the stairs up to that, there are several portraits, apparently of previous captains. So it looks like this ship has been in continuous operation since not long before the Great War. Some of the portraits probably belong stuck to a refrigerator somewhere rather than on the wall of a ship in a proper frame, but apparently there's a great sense of continuity on board. Anton, can you roll perception survival, please?
All
Just
right.
Anton.
How many points are in the pool?
You have 6 points in the pool currently.
I will take 1 extra die.
Okay, so that's 1 point.
2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. So as you pass by these portraits on the wall, you see something different. Turn your head abruptly and look at the first portrait that's up on the wall. It looks like a pencil sketch, maybe pencil and charcoal, but the man depicted in it as the captain of a merchant vessel is in a military uniform.
Does he look familiar?
No, it just seems out of place. All the others just look like, merchant ship captains. No one particularly special, not dressed in any particularly special way, though notably more raggedy as you go up the years. But the first captain of this vessel was apparently dressed up like a military ship captain. You're probably not up on like pre-war military uniforms too much, but it just does seem odd.
Are we being closely followed right now, or do we have some room to talk?
The quartermaster's up front, so if you hold back a little bit, you could talk reasonably safely.
Yeah, I'm gonna whisper. That first picture, this was a military vessel. I must have been pre-war. I don't know what that means for us, but it's definitely off.
Is there anything that Viera recognizes from her foggy memories that may or may not be real?
Could spend a luck point.
Okay, I will then.
All right. A strange thought rises in your mind. Q ships, as our observer has mentioned. So, Q from James Bond? His name comes from a real thing in that the British military during World War II would make ships into secret weapons for submarine hunting and so on. So they would look like normal trading vessels, lure people in, and then they would be armed to the gills. And so it became kind of like a watchword for similar kind of devices, not quite as ridiculous as those found in James Bond films, but cunning and sneaky nonetheless. Maybe the Americans also had Q ships, and there was, a fair bit of warning and build-up before and during the war with China. So maybe this was a military Q ship.
Sorry, my dog's barking.
That's okay. That would explain it. Or maybe it was just commandeered by the Navy. Who knows? All right. So, Mr. Bubblebath, the quartermaster, reaches the officer's mess and opens up the door. Here we are. Please go in.
Enter the quarter.
All right. And you'll step in one by one. He comes in after you. There are a couple of other sailors sort of leaning nonchalantly against the wall, either side of the door, smoking. Inside is a big, long, heavily scarred wooden captain's table. There's all manner of memorabilia all over the walls. And who you assume must be the captain is sat at the far end of the table. He's got a plate of fruit and vegetables in front of him, and he is plucking what looks like fishing bait, like writhing maggots in a little bowl, and feeding them one by one to a little baby Mirelurk. Mr. Bubblebutt, our guests, come in, sit down.
We'll sit. Ahoy, Captain.
Ahoy. Would you care for some water? We have an onboard desalinator, so we always have plenty of fresh water, or perhaps some mute fruit, or mutt fruit, as some of the locals call it. Something else? Anything to eat? Fish? We always have fish.
No, thank you. We just came here to fulfill our duty. We've been told to come speak with you.
Martha accepts the water and mutt fruit enthusiastically.
The glass is old and worn to the point where it's no longer clear. It's like a frosted glass, but the water seems clean enough and quite cool, refreshing even. Mr. Bubblebath, secure the room, if you would. Mr. Bubblebath and the two other sailors seem to sort of switch modes like that. They suddenly become stiff back, stand to attention, take on military bearing, and Mr. Bubblebath shuts the door and stands in front of it between the two other guards in a similarly attentive posture. The captain tilts back his cap, ushers the Mirelurk baby back into its cage, and closes it. All right, so Mr. Bubblebath tells me that you had something interesting to say to him when he met you on the shore.
Yes, the geese are flying high this year.
Not as high as the penguins.
Which is the countersign?
It's the countersign, yes. So, where are you from?
Grim, before I answer him, I type in his countersign into the Pip-Boy to see if there was any other information in there that was locked behind his countersign.
All right, your Pip-Boy grinds and whirs and processes things, and then comes back up with another message from base, which pings on everyone else's Pip-Boys for those who have them as well, saying, "Contact made, secure passage to America."
Then we can continue on the discussion. So we've been told to secure passage to America with you on the ship. Your code phrase just verified.
Where did you get that phrase?
From the overseer.
You from a vault. I mean, from the look of your clothes.
Vault 501.
They don't go that high.
This one does. It's a special vault that was put on foreign soil to protect it.
He pulls up the sleeve of his jacket, exposing a slimline version of the Pip-Boy, and starts tinkering with it. So there's a vault here in this country that you're from, and then you just turn up on my doorstep with an old passphrase.
Commanded to do so, yes.
And you want to secure passage to the States.
That's what they want.
just for you?
I would assume no, it's for the overseer and whoever he picks.
How many in your vault?
1,500, give or take.
And where is it?
Well, I explained roughly where it is.
Right, the old Air Force base. Shit. He taps the cage of the little baby Mirelurk. It kind of skitters around in agitation. Do you know who we are?
I don't have a clue. I was about to retire and I got sent on this dumbass mission.
What about the rest of you? You're not all from the vault.
No, I just tagged along.
Most of them are extras. We picked up on the way.
I'm from the
Guns.
British Robotics Corporation.
Can't beat a Robco, but few enough robots left around these days. And the broad without the skin.
Another tag along. I think the easiest way to solve this would be put your pit boy I see there in contact with ours so you can contact directly to the overseer.
It's against the old security protocols, but
Well,
don't
there's
see
not
as
many
I have
pit boys running right now anyway.
don't see as I have much of a choice.
Who are you guys?
Captain Ralph.
I
of
mean,
the SS Sequoia.
to ask, and you asked us if we knew who you all were.
I'm sure they'll let us know once he talks to the overseer.
He hisses through his teeth bitterly, not really replying to you, but talking to himself, and says, "No, we're just leftovers."
Are you from the U.S. military?
There isn't really a US anymore.
It's true.
Well, the good news is we're coming to the surface to build one.
Yeah, yes, that's great news.
She's really enthusiastic.
He flips off his pit boy and stands up. Well then, Mr. Bubblebath, take our guests into custody, put them in the brig for now while I check some things out. You hear rustling, and Mr. Bubblebath and the two sailors have drawn energy pistols from behind their backs.
Can I shoot the captain in the face?
You can. So yeah, you get to do that first, and then we go to initiatives. So
Do we see, like, does his eye glow before it fires?
it glows as it fires.
Yeah, but in the game, like, it glows and then a beam happens. I just want to know if you got enough time to tackle him
Not
He would.
really, no.
or to jump in the way.
He might miss.
Do we have any extra dice we can use?
Yes.
Yeah.
You currently have 5 action points.
Okay. Could I?
I'm kind of
that's
guessing
the noise his laser makes before it fires.
Yeah, there you go. I was
Is
about to say,
everyone okay with me taking a couple of them to try and blow a hole through the captain?
So you could spend 3 to give you 2 extra dice.
we're not. I'm not around there to stop any of this, am I?
Well, you're
We're
there,
all
but
in the room.
you can't really stop the person who fires first.
Yeah. I guess spend 3 and get 2 extra dice then.
Okay.
So I've got 1 success and 120.
Okay. All right.
Jim, can I spend one of my luck points to jump in the way?
You can.
To take the hit.
So, with one success, that's enough to hit, but then we have a mishap. So how much damage do your laser eyes do?
Good question. I'm trying to find that.
I think it's 4. So they count as
4
laser
damage,
pistols.
piercing 1, rate 2.
Okay. Were you doing a double shot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's a bonus die for damage. Okay. Downs is hit in the chest as he throws himself between the robot and the captain, taking 2 energy damage to the chest. I think your armor probably absorbs that.
Energy DR4.
Yeah, so it dissipates throughout your armor. Before Jeeves can do anything else, Mr. Bubblebath slams a big magnet onto his torso, and you freeze up for a minute and start singing show tunes.
Oh, it's like Bender.
All right. The captain draws his own pistol from behind his back and says, "There's no need for that. We're just going to lock you away while we figure out exactly what's going on here. Right? There's a lot you don't know, you don't understand. We've got to be cautious. But if you want any chance of getting across the water, do what we ask."
We are so sorry. We'll go with you. Just please don't enslave us.
What do you take us for? Swindonians?
Well, we don't know where you're from.
We saw the people working on the plants with the collars.
Needs must. So, we'll buy slaves and we'll use slaves, but we ain't taking slaves.
Well, if you can deal with that robot, yeah, go ahead. We'll go settle down for you.
All right. So they're going to escort you and wheel Jeeves into the brig. Is anyone planning to resist or do anything foolish?
No, I'm not.
No.
While they're being led, she will talk about how if they are from the U.S. military, the 13th Amendment of the Constitution prohibits slavery, and she's lodging a formal complaint.
And you've probably memorized the Constitution, so you're reciting it.
Sorry to get my civics badge.
Yes.
Look,
While the rest of the ship has been pleasant enough, to a point, the brig is not particularly pleasant. It's down deep, practically in the bilge. It's very damp, very dark, not particularly welcoming, and there's just a couple of benches to sit or sleep on, so not even enough room for you all, really. But the guards get you squared away in there and leave you be, all alone in the dark and the wet. Occasionally, you think you hear something scratching on the outside of the cell, somewhere beneath.
Well, if you close your eyes and you kind of imagine it, you can almost feel like you're back in the vault. Kinda. I mean, we need Downs to, cut a couple of farts, and then the air will smell just about the same.
Please, I'm already getting seasick.
Can't imagine Betsy's too thrilled right now, being in a rat-infested, mildewy brig. I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, what happened to Neil? He was supposed to be here. Did I remember to send him the link?
Hadn't heard from him all week, so.
Oh, hang on. I think I forgot to send him.
Hadn't actually heard from anybody all week. So.
Feel really bad now. It's all because I got interrupted. I'm tripping over shit.
So Neil's probably just sitting around there going, I wonder if we're gaming today.
Yeah, well, he did message me earlier to ask if we were, and I did say yes. So let's just give him a sec.
Yeah, he could have though went on the YouTube and then just typed in, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
If he was subscribed to you, he would have got a notification.
Quite true.
Ah, I see the ... So let's give him a minute before we proceed any further. Okay, he's going to jump in during the break. Okay. Which we can take soonish, actually. All right, so you're locked in a cell. It's wet. It's damp. There's something scraping and skittering against the exterior wall. It's not a lot like being in the vault, really, other than being dark and locked in.
I take out one of my bottles of bourbon and start handing around.
Yeah, they didn't take that off you.
Yeah, Martha just fully accepts the bourbon now.
I'm still singing show tunes, right?
Well, they took the battery off you once you were securely stowed in here. So, yeah, you gradually come back to your senses.
Okay. Am I able to drink alcohol?
You can use it as fuel, as backup for your atomic core.
I'm just wondering if I can do a bender and like drink it and belch fire.
Probably. But alcohol doesn't burn that hot, so limited use.
Yeah. No, not for anything, just for effect.
Just for effect. There is a guard, at least one, you can see through the porthole, standing outside.
Excuse me, I think I've been placed here by mistake.
He simply ignores you.
Just be glad they didn't shoot your dog because of it.
What did my dog get? He's not my dog. I'm his butler.
Well, that would take care of you, wouldn't it, if they shot your dog?
Why would they shoot the dog? What did the dog do?
Punish you for trying to shoot the guy?
If they shot the dog, would they then own you? Is that how this works?
Keep what you kill.
That's how Rome worked, so I guess.
Well, why don't we give them a little bit of time so they can try to get a hold of the vault and then come back and talk to us?
It's not like we have much choice.
Well, I think there probably are ways out of here, but I don't want to say nothing until we find out what's going on.
Why didn't you try to shoot them? They drew guns and they took us here.
We already turned in our weapons.
And also, these might be the good guys. I mean, they're linked up with Vault 501. They
And we
Oh
were
yeah,
told to
the
meet with
good
Captain
guys
America.
who use slaves
We were
and
told to
lock
meet with
us
them.
away. Very astute.
You think this is a generational, like a ship of Theseus that's been going since before the war?
It might. Again, we can wait it out. I got a couple more bottles. We can sit and drink and wait for them to show.
Could
Alright,
we
start.
turn one of those bottles of alcohol into a Molotov cocktail and take out the guard?
No,
'Cause
not unless you want me to turn you into bits and pieces first.
Does the guard hear us?
Probably. But he doesn't move or show any response.
Maybe if we tape some tinfoil over the laser eye, he won't be able to shoot people.
We're in the brig on a slaver ship.
But we're not slaves. I think these guys are on our side in some capacity, and it is an unfortunate reality of American history that at one time slavery was used, and it isn't anymore. And I think we can sort all that out once we're back in America.
And more importantly, once we get this effing mission over, I get to retire, and I don't care what you guys do. So
Who
just
said
let us
anything
wait
about
till they're
going
done.
back to America?
No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to go find some place to settle down and be quiet.
And drink yourself to death?
Exactly.
I don't
It
want
is
to
right.
go to America. What? That sounds terrible.
They can use you for like a ship anchor or something.
I don't want to become a slave. I'm quite happy being a butler.
Do
For
you
no pay.
have free will?
The pup gets agitated, sensing how upset Jeeves is, and starts barking randomly.
See, now you're upsetting my master.
It's okay. You don't want me to get pissed off because I get pissed off. Junkyard's going to get pissed off, and he's like 10 times the size of your dog.
Martha just leans down and affectionately pets the corgi. Calm it down.
Have you given it a name yet?
He is cute.
Gives Key a little pet, but still quite angry at both Jeeves and Detective John Downs. Trying to calm herself down as much as she's trying to calm the dog down.
The corgi's name is dog meat in Welsh. I don't remember what that is, but
It's Sigsy, I think.
yeah, so that's the name of the dog. Unless Simon doesn't want that, so that's okay.
I'm
The
just
dog knows.
preparing as master.
That's fine. Yeah, so both dogs wander around sniffing at every corner.
So how long do we sit here before they come back?
If you're done with soft RP and don't want to try anything, we can wind on the time.
Oh no, I'm perfectly happy sitting here on a slaver ship.
I mean, it's kind of like not much happening, you know.
Yeah, because we want to try to solve this peacefully. We were sent here to talk to them.
What am I doing in the car park? Parking cars. What else does one do in the car park? Thank you, Marvin. All right. Let's take our break there. We shall return in 15 minutes with Neil as part of your party again, as his character.
Okay.
And then we shall pick up. And that should actually be the finale. So I think we'll be okay. So we will see everyone back in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
we gonna do?
Grim, that's how it looks.
I'll take Grim right now.
I am the Grim Reaper.
Bit grim.
The bosses are good.
And make it grim.
A grim tale indeed.
It's a little grim.
Meaningless and grim.
It's Grim.
Pretty grim, huh?
Things look grim.
War. War never changes. I just want to talk. Blue moon, you saw. It's all over.
There'll be boo, bye, boo.
Have a cup of tea. Oh, the sexy baby rolling with the boop-a-lack-a-wee. Thunder is steady roll and the clock strikes 4. Everything stops for tea. Oh, a lawyer in a courtroom in the middle of an alimony scene. And stopping on the floor when the clock strikes 4. Everything stops for tea.
Is everybody back?
Yep.
Yep.
I am back.
Yes, sorry about that. I tripped over my USB hub and then forgot to invite you.
I saw the technical thing and I thought, oh, that's probably a really good explanation. But by the time I'd seen it, you'd already started, and I thought, well, I'm not going to start pinging you messages while you're trying to run the game, so I'll just wait.
You should have done. I am terribly sorry.
It's quite all right.
All right. So, if you've been watching, do you know what's going on?
I think we're all weaponless, defenseless, and locked up in the hold of a ship, if I have this correct.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty much covers it.
What's worse is they're taking us to America.
Really frags your circuits. All right. So, you sit there, despondent, taking turns to sit or lie down or cuddle up to the furry dogs for warmth. Eventually, you hear footsteps coming down the corridor. Outside, brief exchange of words with the guard, and the cell door opens. And Mr. Bubblebath, the quartermaster, steps inside with his gun at the ready just in case. And the guard stood behind him to back him up.
Yes.
So the captain didn't react too well. Now I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. Captain can be a bit funny, so I would like to have a quiet, peaceable word with you to try and figure out what's going on and why he's reacting the way he has. Are you willing to have a nice, peaceful chat with me?
I am.
Are you going to make us slaves and take us to America?
No. I don't think that's in the offing, whichever way we look at it.
Then yes.
So, if we're all going to be nice and calm and peaceful, I'll put away my gun, I'll have the guard close the door, and we can have a, what do the Brits call it, chinwag.
I'm willing to do that. She looks around at the troop.
Yep.
Well, we ain't got much choice regardless. I make sure to put myself between him and Jeeves.
All right.
Noticeably doing it.
He tucks his gun away, nods to the guard. The guard closes the door, and Mr. Bubblebath leans up against it. Right. I mean, I was there for the conversation. I heard what you said to him and what he said to you. Can you tell me anything else that will help me make sense of all this?
Well, we're from Vault 501. Are you familiar with vaults?
Yeah. There's a lot of them over in the States. We didn't know any of them were anywhere else. Most of them are fucking nightmares or trouble.
We didn't know that they were anywhere else either. We discovered we were in England when we came up. We were picked out from our vault of around 1,500 people to go on some missions. We set up some coordinated beacons on some towers. We built a vehicle, came to Wales, and were told to come up here and give a password.
Well, you've done pretty well for fresh vault meat. And what about the robot and the ghoul? He twitches his lip a little when he says ghoul.
Just friends we picked up on the way.
Right. A ghoul and a robot and a soldier from the local militias.
I suppose England is an odd country.
We like to pick up strays. I mean, look at the dog.
Dogs,
Yeah, that thing's been hanging around the docks for weeks. So none of this makes any sense. So you thought you were in America until you came out?
Yeah, that's what we were told.
That's why we have these accents.
But it's a vault, right? Nothing special or different to other... Oh, you wouldn't know about other vaults.
The other
Yeah.
vaults are different? More people?
There's not just vaults. There's like private shelters and things that people hid away in. There's all kinds of stuff. He moves from person to person, sort of checking those of you over who have vault gear, looking at the numbers stenciled on your jumpsuits and so on. I don't get it. And you were under an old Air Force base, right?
Pretty much.
That would have been an American base because we still had links with the Brits. At least that's what their history tapes say. But then why would the captain... You got an overseer, same as every other vault, right? Just an overseer?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But like we said, though, why don't you just hook up to Pit Boy and have a talk with them?
Well, I don't have one. The captain does.
Why doesn't he?
But he
Look,
does.
I popped mine off my wrist and I
Mhm.
handed it over to him. Take a look through it. I'll show you how to scroll.
Okay. He's not particularly familiar with it, but you know, with you giving him pointers, he scrolls through it all.
Do I have a built-in radio?
Spend a luck point and you do.
Okay. So I'm going to contact the vault on it, I guess.
Yeah, you can send text messages to the vault.
Can I speak to them or? Like,
signal down here is 2 weeks. The best you can probably manage is text.
okay. Yeah, so I'll send a text message saying, in brig on slaver ship, not going well.
do we see that pop up on the Pit Boys since it's all?
Yeah, you used to see the messenger ping come up in the sent box.
So we see like unknown ID.
Yeah,
you won't have a Vault Boy access.
Yeah, but it will still get to them. He hands you back the Pit Boy and says, "All right, I'm gonna lay my cards on the table as well. So we're part of a fleet of pre-war atomic-powered vessels that have managed to stay afloat. You know, we produce a lot of food and so on for the fleet, and we come and we do trade. And that's kind of an ad hoc, cobbled-together solution. We used to do supply runs for what was left of the US government. There used to be elements of it left over after the war, trying to restore order and all of that sort of thing. But it didn't go well. There's not really much of anyone left. So
Well,
we've had to make the best of it. Sorry, go on.
I was saying that's why we're here. The vaults.
Yeah, with what, over 1,000 loyal American citizens hidden away in the grounds in a foreign country. It's a lot, especially after we thought we were all done for, basically, that everything was lost, everything was gone. I mean, there's a few scraps holding on here and there over the water. And the captain, the way he's reacted to you, I don't get it.
Well, if you were to do what the overseer asked and take us to America, there's a ton of good stuff that we could clear out of the vaults.
Please don't take me to America.
Computers, information, you know, better vegetable stocks than you have here on your ship.
Yeah. Well, see, thing is, right, since we stopped working with the Enclave, things have gotten a lot better for us. We're wealthier, we've got an easier life. We just don't have a cause. Me, I'm still loyal to the Enclave. I still believe in restoring America, and I thought all that was gone and done for. But then you show up with this fantastical story about a great big vault here, you know, fresh hope, fresh citizens. Together we can maybe still try. And the captain turns his nose up at it. He wants you killed.
Oh,
That would be inconvenient.
yeah, I definitely prefer your idea.
My idea? My idea would be to take over from the captain.
I think that's a terrific idea, and I think you are well prepared to lead, and you have a great attitude towards leadership.
So
Take over and do what exactly?
take over, make full, proper contact with your vault and all the technology and goods that are there and the people that are there, and bring examples and some information all the way over the water to the other Enclave remnants and start again.
What's an enclave?
It's just what we call what's left of the old US government, or what was left. You know, there were big military bunkers. Not everything was vault tech, and you know there were plans for continuity of governance, kind of like they have over here with all those blue-blooded ghouls in charge of everything. That, you know, different.
This is perfect, guys. This is exactly what we were sent up here to do.
And how many of your shipmates are with you?
Hard to tell, but if someone, friends of mine, were to deal with the captain and we were able to present what's happened to the crew as a fait accompli, then I don't see any impediment to me taking over and making all our dreams come true.
Oh, well, we made enough deals with the devil. What's one more? Just show us where our stuff is.
I'm not quite a devil.
Does this really have to be done with yet more violence? She says, looking at Jeeves and Macintosh.
Well, I just bought a big gun.
Does it have to be done with violence? Surely you can see it, she says, looking at the quartermaster. You can see what we're about. You can see what America is meant to be. That shining city on the hill. Tell people about that dream and they will follow it.
Yeah, Betsy's words hang in the air.
She just to put a point on the awkwardness, she looks around at everybody else here, waiting for them to kind of leap to the draw the appropriate patriotic lesson.
Look, just I'll do what it takes to get off this ship.
Yeah,
I think our partnership has run its course. I don't want to get pressed into more politics.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us where our guns are?
Here
And
and
we'll
not
take care
go
of this.
to America. Sorry, I'm talking over you.
Did either of you want to repeat what you were saying?
Go ahead, Jeeves. Jeeves?
I just don't want to go to America. I'm quite happy back in Blighty.
Well, we always need crew, whether you want to stay or not. But if you can deal with the captain or me, then
Again,
we'll all be free to do whatever we want.
yeah, so just show us where our guns are.
All right. I'd say stay here, but that seems redundant. Just be ready. And he knocks on the door and the guard lets him out. A relatively short time later, no more than about 25 minutes or so, Sigsy suddenly leaps up from the decking, yelping, with the fur on his butt smoldering slightly. Where he was, you see a shower of sparks coming upwards into the room.
I assume it's cut through the floor. So
Yeah.
Step out of the way.
Stand back.
Slowly and surely, a hole is cut through the deck plating and then dropped away with a splash. A truly horrendous, fetid stench rises through the hole.
Did we see anyone down there?
You see Mr. Bubblebath. He's got a big kit bag slung over his shoulder and a cutter, which is just turning off.
Does he hand up the bag?
No, he gestures for you to come down.
All right.
Jump down.
All right. You land with a splash in shin-high water, about halfway up your shin. The water is kind of thick and viscous and rather unpleasant. Go on, and the rest of you.
All right, we all jump down.
Follow.
One by one, you slide through the hole and land in the dark. He hands one of you a lantern, a battery-powered lantern, turning it up. You're somewhere very deep in the hull, everything is covered in rust and filth, and just it's thoroughly unpleasant.
So what is this, a bilge or something?
Kinda. Think of it as a multi-purpose room.
Is that kit back or guns and gear?
Yeah, this is all your stuff. Just I didn't want to put it down in the water, so
Well, one of us can hold it and start pulling stuff out and handing it around.
pull your stuff out. Right. So the captain's doing an inspection at the front of the ship. All right. I've ordered an engine test, so there should be plenty of cover noise, though it might get a bit loud down here for you. You need to head that way as far as you can until you find the last hatch. Come out of that, and you should be able to catch him bang to rights. I will move up on the deck of the ship, and I'll be there ready once you've dealt with him to defuse the situation.
All right.
He moves away and starts climbing up a rusty old ladder and stops about halfway up. Says, "Oh, by the way, watch out for old One Eye." And then he opens the hatch and disappears from view.
As he's disappearing, I'm just going to say, if you double cross us, I will melt your face.
You hear him chuckle briefly before he closes the hatch.
All right. Well, I'm assuming One Eye is another Mylurk. So you want to keep an eye for that.
Yes.
No, that's what I say to the group.
Yep.
Well, turn a light on a Pit Boy, and get the other guys with Pit Boys to do the same. So we got a little light at least.
Yeah, it's pretty cramped down here. There's lots of crisscrossing beams and plates that have been welded to the outside to make repairs. There's like generations of rust and metal all piled up, reinforcing bulkheads and so on. So it turns the whole thing to a sort of spider web of metal and rusty stalactites and stalagmites everywhere. You hear a fusion engine starting up, and then the loud, almost deafening roar of the ship's engines being put through their test run.
All right, we'll wade towards the hatch.
Okay, so you start heading along the ship. It's hard to tell exactly how far you're going in the dark, and having to wade through all the muck. All the people with Pit Boys using their Pit Boy lights, and who's carrying the lantern?
I'll use the. Yeah, I got to use a Pit Boy light if I'm going to use the shotgun because it's two-handed.
Yeah.
I can carry the lantern if everyone's.
Yeah, that's good.
Had lantern in one hand, laser pistol in the other.
I imagine Jeeves has headlights or something the equivalent thereof.
Yeah, probably his laser eyes can be activated on low power. And
that gives everybody a light except Vera, but I don't think she's going to have much trouble.
No. All right. 1 second.
So as we were walking along, I guess I'll look at Jeeves and go, well, I guess I owe you one, Tin Man. You were right. You should have shot him. Or should have stayed out of your way.
Well, you appear to have taken some damage as a result. Let that be a lesson to you.
Yeah, I just was trying to solve things peaceably instead of shooting.
How long have you been in that vault?
All my life.
Figures.
I just keep walking.
All right. Can you all make perception survival rolls? You need 3 successes.
As we see the as we're walking along, we see the corgi struggling in the stuff. I'm like, geez, better pick the dog up.
Yeah, he's pretty short, so he's like, leaning up with its head.
We need 3 successes on 2 dice.
Yes.
Can I buy an action point from the pool?
There are 3 points currently in the pool, but you can.
Yeah, no successes here.
No 2 failures here. They weren't even bad rolls. I've just got crap perception.
2 successes.
Okay. Do
Yeah,
you want to try and get another one?
What do you guys think?
Well,
I got I got 1 success.
I got 3.
I blew a luck point to go again, so now I got 3.
Okay, that's with the dog. Yeah.
Yeah, with the dog.
Okay. As long as one person gets it. All right. So as you're moving through the muck, Detective Downs steps on something that gives a sort of squishy crunch, and looking to the side, you can see a cluster of squishy, semi-transparent eggs stuck to the metal with little tiny mirelurks twisting around inside them. And when you look back forward, you think briefly for a moment, you see a bright red eye glaring at you from the darkness.
This is not good.
Yeah, there it is.
There's a rattling, clattering noise, and a huge mirelurk appears out of the darkness like a massive, overgrown lobster. Through the cracks in its shell, there's glowing lights of different colors, and the whole thing looks like a weird, demented acid trip. It's only got one eye, but it clatters its claws threateningly, and green froth begins to bubble at its mouth parts. Combat. What are your initiative scores?
13.
13 as well.
Dan's 13, Anton's 13.
I think we have
Jeeves.
13s.
Trying to find it.
I've got 13 as well.
Yeah, there's a bunch of 13s.
Macintosh 13. You're at 10. Betsy?
13.
Arthur?
12.
Okay. And what was Jeeves?
What's initiative listed under? Oh, it's okay. I found it. 9.
9. Okay. Arrange these into some sort of order.
Okay, I just got distracted by something, but this is kind of hilarious.
What's
There's
that?
a toaster brand called Smeg.
Yes, they also make fridges and a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah, I used to
Having
have
red,
Smeg oven.
having Red Dwarf flashbacks now.
All right. So your torchlight picks this glowing, gigantic lobster thing, this horror out of the darkness with its bright red glowing eye that suddenly shrinks to a pinpoint. It rattles and hisses, and its froth bubbles at its mouth. And it spits. So okay, what's Betsy's defense?
Defense is 1.
Okay. One second. Failed to note down the spit attack. moles. Red roach, mole rat. Might look. Actually, it doesn't give the stats for that, so I will have to make them up. Isn't that great? Right, so... Betsy takes 2 energy damage to her right arm.
Energy damage reduction 1 on the right arm, so that's 1. Okay.
Okay. All right, but it's still bubbling away on your arm. And eating into the fabric. Right, Officer Downs.
Okay, how close is the thing?
Barely 5 meters in front of you.
Perfect.
All right. We have any points in the pool?
You currently have 2 points in the pool.
Okay.
Won't for very long.
Yeah, I'll borrow 1.
Okay.
And I hold one of my. I have a what do you call it? The fusion core from the last from before this, and then I got the truck one as well. I hold one of the fusion cores in my tin snips, and I'm jamming the tin snips into it.
Okay. So you're
Why?
using the core as an explosive.
Yeah. Yep. Basically, what I was thinking.
Well, I mean, it's fusion. Fusion doesn't explode.
In this, it does.
Yeah. The fusion cores can blow up if you damage them, if you crush them.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
4 successes.
4 successes. Okay, so that's 3 points into the pool. Roll damage.
All right, so that's I'll spend 1 AP for the extra 2, so it gives me 8 dice plus whatever the core will do.
That'll take a turn to heat up. So.
Okay. Woo. I have a minor action too, right?
Yeah.
I'll use the minor action to do the aim thing, so I get the extra pierce.
Okay.
Because I have that new ability. So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 successes, but 8 piercing.
Okay, so that's going to be clean through the armor. 6 damage.
Yeah, and in its
that
guts.
That was your snips you were using, right?
Yep. And in its guts, I crush the core with the snips and let it go. Pull my arm out.
Yeah. Okay, spend a luck point to make it lodge in there.
Sure.
All right. So yeah, Downs sweeps forward and slams the modified Jaws of Life gauntlet into this thing. It cuts between and through a whole bunch of the armor plating and dumps the core in there. So you can see it glowing through its skin, gradually getting hotter and hotter, and there's a lovely smell of seafood coming off it. So that's your go. Macintosh.
I don't guess you can target the legs or anything, can you? Like VATS?
You can. It raises the difficulty to hit it by 1.
Okay, well, I definitely want to keep this thing from chasing after us, so I'm unloading L shotgun into the legs of this thing to cripple it.
Okay, so you'll need 2 successes to hit.
Fortunately, this is something I do well. Maybe.
Hopefully.
I know I definitely got 1. Let me double check here. This is not big guns, right? This is still
small guns.
Still small gun. Okay, so No, it's 2 successes
Okay.
because I got a 9 and a
so
5.
5 damage. Was it
No,
more?
this sucker's modified. Remember, it
Oh,
does
yeah,
like this baby does 8.
Okay. And do you want to spend any extra ammo?
Yeah, it's got a fire rate of 3, so
So you can have another 3 dice.
yeah, I'm gonna just keep just unloading that thing. I don't know if the spread makes any difference, but
Not particularly. Not in these quarters, anyway. Okay. Does it have any other special abilities?
inaccurate.
Other than that?
No, that's it. I mean, spread, fire rate 3.
Okay. It's not vicious or anything.
No, I forgot what the modifier thing, what it did. I know it added 3 dice to it, but it also did something else.
It increased the rate of fire.
Okay,
to
yeah.
3,
So,
which is why
so
you got
yeah,
3 dice. So yeah, cross off 3 rounds.
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. Jesus.
all in the legs.
All right. The shotgun roars in the confined quarters. There's a brief sort of 3-flash stroboscopic effect for everybody, and heavy shot carves into the side of the Mirelurk, shearing off a couple of its legs. Slightly glowing bluish blood spatters out everywhere, and it hisses in agony. Right. Anton.
I'm gonna help cook it.
Okay. With your freshly microwave gun.
Yeah. No, that's 2 failures.
Okay. Yeah, so you fire wide, the beam hits the metal and crackles of electricity arc up and down the ship. Betsy.
Well, since Jordan Peterson doesn't have a fucking clue what he's talking about, I'm not going to bother appealing to the common bond of hierarchy between men and lobsters. So I think instead I've got this stuff burning its way through my suit, haven't I?
Yeah.
And I think the most logical thing to do, and it's on some point on my right arm. So I think with her left hand delicately pinching her immaculate retrousse nose, she will kind of dunk herself under the water to try and wash this stuff off.
Okay, yeah. You duck into the filthy bilge water. Okay. And wash off the acid as best you can, but somehow you feel worse. All right, Martha.
I'll take a shot. I'll take a shot at it has a great big eye.
Yeah.
I'll take a shot at its eye.
Okay, so +1 difficulty to hit.
I'll spend we have 2 points.
3 points at the moment.
I'll take a point for that.
Okay.
I got 3 successes.
Okay, so that's enough to hit and to get a point back. How much damage does it do? It was 11, wasn't it?
11 damage. It also is vicious, piercing 1. Oh, it also has the accurate modifier. I don't know if that.
Yeah. All right. The shot plugs it right in the center of its eye stalk and bursts it. It blindly thrashes around, frothing and shrieking in agony, but doesn't seem to be quite dead yet. But at least it can't see. Vera?
I will fire my shotgun at it.
Okay.
Hold on. Sorry about that.
That's right.
So what do I roll if I don't have any skill in firearms?
You will just roll your agility on 2d20.
Okay. Agility is up. Nope, those were failures.
Okay. So the shotgun blasts off into the darkness, but in the chaos of the melee and all the splashing blood and ichor and people falling into the water and so on, you fail to land an effective blast. And finally, Jeeves.
Does this thing look like it really needs more damage?
It has a power core stuck in its belly, which is going to explode this turn. So
running would have been a good idea.
Yeah, I'm going to leave.
You trundle backwards as quickly as you can, with your dog taking cover behind you. All right. Next turn. The Mirelurk lashes out blindly, trying to hit Downs, who is the only person remotely in range. However, it's very unlikely to hit you. What's your defense? 1?
1, yeah.
Okay, so it's 2 because it's blind. And I will spend some points to give it extra dice because this is the last session.
By the way, is this an animal?
Yes.
I have animal friend. You need to roll a d6, the challenge die.
Okay.
If you get roll 1 challenge die on any result other than an effect, it won't attack me, but it'll still attack somebody else.
Okay. In which case, then, in its blind thrashing, it goes for your dog. Okay. So right, dog meat is hitting the left leg. Does he have any armor?
No. He's got a body of 5.
That's 13 points of damage.
Wow, he's splattered.
It is the last session. All right, so the claws divert from you at the last moment and cleave off Dogmeat's left rear leg. It goes spinning off into the darkness. Gouts of blood come off the dog's leg. It whimpers and thrashes around in the water. So as you sort of look to Dogmeat, there's a sudden... Well, you don't hear it because it's too close, the explosion. But there's a micro atomic explosion inside the Mirelurk. You are all shoved backwards quite some distance and spattered with bright blue glowing goop.
Am I injured in the blast because I'm like right on top of it?
No, it's tough shell contained most of the blast. Now, Dogmeat might not actually be dead. I need to double check the rules on that.
He's got all the regular stats for an animal.
Yeah.
6 hit points, so 13 is like way more than that.
Yeah.
That's okay. He gave his life to protect his master.
Dying. When your character is reduced to 0 hit points, they suffer an injury to the location struck and then fall prone and start dying. If they suffer a critical hit and reduced to 0 hit points, they suffer 2 injuries, 1 for the critical hit and 1 for being reduced to 0 hit points.
You're going to lose subscribers if you kill a dog.
I'm losing them anyway today, so I'm not that worried.
In all the things that we as a variegated party have done over these and other sessions, if that's really what drives people away, well, okay.
I play my X card.
This isn't the first time that Grimm's killed a dog.
No.
No, don't kill the dog.
In one of my games, yeah.
Jim, is
Yeah.
it still alive? Is it dying, or is it?
It's dying.
Oh.
So someone needs to apply medicine if they want to save the dog.
Yeah, Martha will leap into action, go swim over the dog, and get where it's dry. Are stim packs or first aid kits more effective? I don't remember.
I think Stimpact.
Yeah. Is it our actions now?
Yeah, we're out of combat now because it's dead.
I have a veterinary stim pack.
Oh,
Cool. You can toss that to Martha.
There you go, Martha.
yeah. I'll do medicine roll.
Yeah. I think Stimpacts remove an injury and do something else.
Patient regains 4 HP immediately. Sorry, I don't want to stop.
No,
yeah. I'll take it's the dog, so I'm gonna take an action. I mean, not an action. I'll take another point from the pool.
Yeah, and any AP spent to heal additional health points heal twice as much. 2 hit points per be spent rather than 1.
Yeah. Okay, so what'd you roll?
I rolled 1 success.
So that's all
Okay.
6 hit points then.
Yeah. There's still another injury, though, so still dying until you get rid of that injury as well.
Okay.
So you'll either need to use another stim pack or apply a health kit or something.
I'll use another stim pack.
Okay. Let's make another
or-
medicine roll.
So the health kit, because if we just need to remove another injury, so I might use the health kit.
Okay. So you just need one more success on a medicine roll to stabilize the pup.
Okay.
So apparently his wound wasn't as severe as it looked like.
Well, his leg's still off because he took those 2 injuries to that leg.
Well,
But
it gets rid of the injuries. Doesn't that get rid of the injury? So like,
doesn't,
it didn't actually
doesn't restore the leg.
What's what I'm saying? Maybe it doesn't actually happen.
Oh, I got 4 successes.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the wounds closed off. With your tender ministrations, the pup will survive, and he's healthy, but he's still hopping around now on 3 legs. Dogs can get around on 3 legs. I've known a few 3-legged dogs. One of them called Lindy, as in Lindy Hop. So and he gets up, sort of shakes some of the muck from his jowls.
As I said, we're not losing any troop members.
Yeah, dog meat goes all over Martha's face in gratitude. Your pit boys are all crackling now, of course, as well.
Yeah, well, let's get moving again.
All right. The rest of the trip through the bowels of the ship pass uneventfully, other perhaps than Betsy realizing exactly what she'd done to herself in and regretting it. When you get to the far end, you find the furthest hatch and the rusty ladder leading up to it.
Ascend the ladder.
Okay, so Martha heads up first. The hatch doesn't look like it's used very much. It's fairly sort of welded shut by the encrustations of rust.
Martha, you want me to use the tin snips on it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I climb up past her and use the tin snips on the hatch.
Okay, with those, it's no problem. Yeah, you manage to cut away some of the fused together rust, and with a bit of a shove, you get the hatch open, and you are all able to emerge into what seems like some sort of storeroom.
All right, I get my dog.
Yeah, you carry him up and set him down. You have to carry up the other pup as well, and it takes Jeeves quite a long time to get up the ladder. He's not really built for it. You can hear muffled voices from beyond the door. In here seems to be mostly sort of gardening supplies, bags of compost, weed killer bottles, some of them pre-war, various trowels and tools and things like that.
So the door's closed that we hear voices from, or?
Yeah, you can hear the voices from behind the door. It's not one of the fully armored up bulkhead doors, but it does have that similar sort of oval shape, and it's slightly raised from the ground.
We recognize the voice as one of the voices.
You recognize the captain's voice.
All right. Is the door locked at all, or is it just closed?
It's just closed.
Is there any way, like, if I put my ear up against it to hear better, or is it too thick?
You can hear through it. Make a perception survival roll.
Alright. Oh, come on. Nothing. Actually, let me use a luck point, right? I can re-roll.
Re-roll, yeah.
There we go. 3 successes. Or, yeah, 3.
Okay, just give me a second to quickly work something out. So you recognize the captain's voice, and you recognize Mr. Bubblebath's voice through the door. Sorry. So what's the situation report? Are we ready to leave soon? I want to put some distance between us and this godforsaken country as soon as possible. A few more hours of loading, so we should wait for the tide, but we can leave when you want. They dredged it not too long ago, so we can leave whenever, really, if you prefer, but it will be better to wait for the tide. And then they just continue to discuss what kind of stuff has been brought on board, what the state of the polytunnels is, all of that. It's
Anton makes the blah, blah, blah.
Stuff. Sorry, go on.
Anton makes just the blah, blah, blah symbol with his hand.
All right, does anyone want to step in and
I'll move up to the door and give everybody, the hand signal. Are you guys ready?
Are you all sure that this is what we want to do? Does your Volt know about this enclave? It seems like all of this is lost in translation. Look, I'm not here to be the hero, but you guys seem pretty earnest.
Well, either way, that's the way out of this ship, so.
All right.
When everyone's ready, I fling the door open.
Okay.
Let's do it.
You fling the door open. Beyond it is a sort of semi-open area at the front of the ship. Bow, isn't it? Yes, at the bow of the ship. Let's use the proper nautical term. There's bunches of bags all piled up. No idea what's in them, but they seem to have been set up as kind of like a bulwark at the front of the ship. You see the captain, who you recognize from before. The little Mirelurk baby is on his shoulder. That's got a little chain wrapped around it to his lapel. You see Mr. Bubblebath, who sort of eyes you from the corner. Yeah. But the captain also has 2 bodyguards with him. They have eschewed their disguise and are dressed in very dark blue combat armor with an E stenciled on the front, surrounded by stars. And they are openly carrying plasma rifles.
I'm gonna take that MedX concoction. Maybe not yet. Let's see if this gets hairy. I'm gonna.
Do you know what that does for you?
Not yet. But I'll keep it at the ready.
Okay. Where's the MedX? Chems. MedX. +3 physical damage resistance. So, just so you know.
Yeah.
All right. As of yet, they haven't quite noticed you because they're intent on the conversation, or in the case of the guards, they're bored. The only person who's noticed you is Mr. Bubblebath, who has situated himself so that the captain and his guards have their backs to you.
John is going to swig down his thing of whiskey, so I can be the under the influence thing. And I yell to Junkyard, kill the captain. Because it's his fucking turn to get some revenge. My dog's here.
All right. So you're starting the fight, so we drop into initiative. So you order for your bonus action. The dog hurtles off like a 3-legged furry torpedo, heading straight for the captain. What about your normal action?
I'm going to try to cross the distance to one of the guards so I can use the 10 snips. I imagine that's going to take my action. So
yeah, that's gonna take your action to get there, but you'll be in close combat range.
Fine.
Yeah. So Downs and the dog go hurtling through the door towards the captain and his guards. What's Macintosh going to do?
Kind of stare in disbelief as we break out into another fight, but okay. I guess we're targeting the nearest guy with a plasma gun and giving him a shotgun enema.
Yeah, his pet that ate my fucking dog or chomped on my dog. It's revenge time.
Aren't they on our side?
I thought they were.
They're guarding the captain, so they're going to be in the way.
Yeah. I only need 1 success to hit, right?
Yeah.
There you go, then. Enjoy 8 dice of damage.
So you only got 1 success?
Yeah, I only got 1 success.
Okay. 8 dice of damage. And are you firing multiple rounds?
Yeah, because I got to put these guys down. I know those guns hurt.
Okay. So full auto?
Of course.
So that's another 3 rounds. The only special effect is spread, isn't it?
Yeah. So could catch someone else in it.
Okay, yeah, a hail of shotgun fire erupts as you step out of the door and slams into the legs of the 2 guards. The first one loses a lot of flesh from his leg to the point where it's severed at the knee, and he goes falling backwards to the ground, screaming in agony. The armor does absorb most of the spillover damage that hits the second guy, though. Just blows off some of the top layers of the armor where it ablates. Anton.
Captain standing right there.
Yeah, just slowly reacting, so it's as if you're all in vats at the moment.
All right. How many guards are there?
1.5.
All right. I'll fire at the other one.
Okay. So you move through, get a little space, and fire.
And what the hell? I'll spend a luck point to reroll all of those. Can I reroll a complication? A 20?
I don't know.
For what you trying to do?
I rolled a 17 and a 20.
No, what was he asked?
He's trying to use a luck point to reroll.
Yes. Yeah,
Does
I
that get
had
rid
to
of
do
the
that
20? Yeah, I think it does.
It's one for each die.
Oh, one for each die.
One luck point for each die.
Okay.
I already had to
so,
use that myself.
Yeah, so I'm down to 2, and the 20 didn't go away. I got another one.
Okay, so I get a point. All right. So you still missed, or was that a hit?
One success.
One
6.
success. Okay. So how much damage?
I don't have the special dice.
No, I do.
Oh,
so I will
four
roll it for you.
damage. 4 damage. Piercing, incendiary, persistent. I can look that up for you if you want.
Oh, that's all right. I've got it here.
That'll be nasty. Depending on his effect.
All right. I'm spending one of my points to intercede. So you fire the blast, but his little pet Mirelurk twists around and gets in the way and just explodes next to him, scattering him with pieces of chitin and guts.
So didn't you
So
fire
that's
at
your-
the guard though?
Yeah, but the Mirelurk jumped in front.
So there's just a length of bloody chain hanging off his shoulder now. Betsy.
So we've come out of a bulkhead door, which is now
Yeah.
behind most of us.
Yeah.
And you say there was a bunch of, for want of a better word, a kind of sandbag wall forming the far
Yeah.
side of this area, which is open to the sky because it's out on the deck.
Yeah.
And is there any obvious aperture or doorway through these sandbags by which anybody else could intrude on this?
Someone could come through from behind where the polytunnels are, but that's mostly slaves working the gardens. So any interruptions should be a handful of turns away if they happen at all.
Which is still probably more useful being eyes rather than guns at this point, since I doubt very much anything she's carrying would even bounce off these fucking armored robots. So yes, that's what she'll do. She'll kind of skirt the combat scene, as it were, sticking to the edges of the circumnavigating, going all the way around, keeping out of everybody's way, getting to the point where she's got eyes on the rest, the approach to this sandbag wall.
Yeah, so you sort of sidle your way around the gunfight, being pelted with spent shell casings, and keep an eye on the way anyone else might come. Okay. The captain twists, turns, brings out his gun. He's unlikely to hit because it's a very awkward draw. But he just lets off a shot in people's general direction. Right. Where's his stats gone?
Well, I'm running straight at them, so
Yeah,
probably hit
so you're
me.
probably the most likely target. It's not actually that good. Okay. Yeah, a bolt of green plasma light shoots past Detective Downs and smashes into the wall of the bulkhead behind you guys and sort of fizzles and burns part of the way through it, sending droplets of molten metal in all directions. But he missed. And I have no points left to interfere with that. So, Martha.
Since I had the Med-X at the ready, could I just take that as a bonus action?
As a bonus action, yeah.
All right, I'll take that. And so we got one guard who's like fine, and then the captain who just went.
Yeah.
So yeah, the guard that doesn't have his leg blown off, I'll shoot.
Yeah. All right. So you bring up your rifle, drop down into a crouch, and fire.
Do we have action in the pool?
There are no points currently in the pool.
Okay. Let's see. I think that's 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, so that's a hit, and you get a point back in the pool. How much damage? 11, wasn't it?
11 damage, vicious, and piercing 1.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ignoring 1 point of armor. Okay. You were going for the one who still has his legs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's an enormous boom, and you're not that big a lass, so the recoil actually sort of slides you back on the damp deck by a couple of feet when you fire. The heavy caliber round takes the guard in the shoulder, completely annihilates the shoulder pad of his armor, and severs his arm at the joint to the torso. His arm and the plasma rifle go spinning through the air, and he falls to one side, looking as if he's being propelled by the jet of blood coming out of the stump.
It's not a good day to be a guard.
No. Right. The sailor with his leg blown off awkwardly drags his sidearm out of its holster, but that's all he can do this turn because he's crippled. The other sailor does the same thing, stupidly ignoring the enormous spray of blood continuing to come out of his shoulder. Vera.
Dogs are barking, sorry.
That's all right. What do you want to do?
Is there a space for me to throw a grenade?
Not really, because Downs is approaching melee.
Okay, well, I'll hold back then.
Okay. So what? Overwatch in case anything else happens?
Yep.
Okay. So you hold up your shotgun, confused, not quite sure where to fire, but you're an option. And lastly, with his electronic reflexes, Jeeves.
Can I shoot the captain?
You can.
In the head?
You can aim for the head, that raises the difficulty.
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
Well, I've rolled a 1.
So that's 2 successes for that.
We'll re-roll the other dice.
Well, you're already going to hit, but yeah.
Yep, so that's another success. So 3 successes.
Okay. So that's another point in the pool. And you've hit him in the head. What's the damage?
Damage is 4 damage, piercing 1, energy rate 2.
Do you want to fire a double shot?
Yes.
Okay, so that's an extra die of damage. Do you want to spend any of the action point pool for extra damage?
Is it likely that the amount of damage I've done is going to kill someone?
If you can do 5 damage, which is possible, you will decapitate him.
Okay. Can I'll use one of the action points, I guess, just to be a bit more sure of that.
Okay. Okay, not enough damage, unfortunately. But you sort of stare at him. A beam of brilliant ruby light scribbles across his face, partially blinding him in one eye and burning a lot of his beard off. New turn.
Junkyard.
Am I
Yep.
able to spend a luck point to re-roll the damage dice?
You can. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I've got one luck point left, so...
You can reroll one of them.
Yeah. Okay, you do another 2 points of damage to him. That's
low,
still,
though.
yeah, still low, but
Damn.
yeah.
Are there any action points left in the thing?
There's one action point left in the pool.
Okay, I'm giving it to Junkyard.
Okay, give him an extra dice.
1, 2, 3. 3. I'm gonna blow my last luck point for Junkyard.
Okay.
4 successes for Junkyard to attack.
Okay, so that's 3 points back in the pool. How much damage does his bite do?
I got the dice anyway, but it does 2, and then I'm gonna blow the 3 points for 3 extra dice. I want to make sure.
Okay. Go for it.
And he's got vicious on it.
Yeah.
Which is good because that came up twice. So 4, 5, 6.
6 damage. Where's his armor? He's only got very basic armor. So that's... All right. Junkyard leaps forward at a speed you think a 3-legged dog probably shouldn't be able to manage. Leaps at his leg, grabs hold of the calf muscle in his teeth and wrenches, pulling a chunk of it away from the bone and kind of starting to peel it down his leg. It gives way under him and he collapses down onto his knees with a scream of agony, and his beard is still on fire. And then it's your go.
Oh, yeah, okay. Did he die or no?
He's not dead.
Oh,
He just wishes he was.
I'll use my attack on him.
Okay.
Oh, look at that, man. 3 successes.
Okay, so that's 2 in the pool.
Yeah, and I used my minor action for the awareness thing.
Aim.
2, 4.
Yeah.
It's not aim, it's awareness smite that traded on.
Okay.
I got 3 2s, 2 effects, so that's 2 more, so that's 8, 9, 9 and 4 penetration.
Okay. Okay, you stab forward with the snips. He desperately tries to struggle out of the way of them, and they cut off his leg midway through the thigh. So the artery is immediately fully opened up, and blood just fountains out of him. In like seconds, he turns white. The remaining guards can't really do much of anything, so the rest of you are able to finish them off. Though Mr. Bubblebath has his plasma pistol out, and he shoots one of the guards. Can't have you taking all the blame. Betsy sees a hubbub amongst all the slaves, and some of the other crew are rushing forward, some of them drawing weapons or grabbing bats and sticks and things. But Mr. Bubblebath moves to stand in the way and shouts out to them and explains what's going on. Lads, the Enclave isn't dead. There's a vault out there underneath an old American military base from this country. And it's full of thousands of loyal American citizens. The Enclave doesn't have to be dead. We can have a purpose again, thanks to these fine people. And to that end, we're going to go there. We're going to see them. We're going to see that we know what's what. We're going to take as many of them and as much as we can back to the States and re-establish the Enclave. One of the crew sticks up his hand from the back and says, Enclave. Fuck off.
Jeeves sticks up his hand and says, "No, thank you. I'd just like to go now."
You're welcome to go. You're welcome to stay, whichever it is you prefer, and that goes for the rest of you. So I think the ghoul probably ought to stay.
She's one of us now.
Yeah, why do I have to stay?
Mutants ain't too popular.
Surely the Enclave is not bigoted against ghouls.
That's all right, Vera. Jeeves is going to need some company.
Okay, fine. We'll come over at some point.
All right. So at the end of any Fallout game, there's that little slideshow where it tells you what happens to everybody. So
Yeah.
what are you curious about? What for an ending? Is there any people or anything you're curious about that you want me to give a little encapsulation of?
Yeah. What happens to Vault 501?
So Vault 501 is visited by you guys and so a party from the ship who all deck themselves out in their full Enclave combat armor and go to see what's what. Warmly greeted with a parade by the Overseer President and several hundred volunteers kitted out, ready to send over to the States. And then them with a whole bunch of supplies from the vault, which is still very well decked out with high-tech supplies and so on. Board the ship, head out to join the rest of the fleet, and then head over to the States, where who knows what awaits them.
What happens to Vera and Jeeves?
Vera and Jeeves probably start a seaside cafe where you can set up because you're good at that. That's what you've done. But there's a lot more people here, so it's a lot more promising, better for you. Jeeves is useful in a cafe, and plus he's got his new furry master to take care of. And the corgi is incredibly popular with travelers coming through. They've never seen such a thing. A purebred dog? That's so weird. Is it a mutant? What is it? Why are its legs so short?
What happens to Junior Vault Scouts Troop 501?
Junior Vault Scouts Troop 501 is renamed the Martha Mayer Troop in honor of your success, and you are able to devote plenty of time to talking to the troop because some of the kids from the troop are chosen to make the trip as the next generation, as a sense of hope for the Enclave.
What happens to the Enclave? It's 2277, so does it happen?
So the Enclave, the Enclave was fucked, apart from a few remnants here and there, at least in the States. But even in the Fallout timeline, the US had bases on foreign soil and scattered around. Maybe there are other secret vaults scattered around the world on former US bases with more thousands of loyal American citizens just who are waiting for the signal to wake up, come to the surface, and rejoin the newly resurgent Enclave. Of course, they don't have any of their leadership or any of their presidents, so who knows what they'll get up to. But if we ever run another game, maybe we'll find out.
That's becoming the dictator of the new.
Anything else?
What are the Swindonians up to?
So the Swindonians continue to spread their small empire, but hemmed in by the Royalists to the east. The only way they have to spread is west. So they start to eat up territory heading towards Wales, but maybe someone can stand up to them. They're not hugely technologically powerful, but having access to such a massive slave workforce enables them to churn out crude and primitive weapons and armor to a large degree, and they do have a command of steam technology. So their land trains act like mobile fortresses, slowly taking over the country bit by bit in a westerly direction.
What happened to Dish?
Dish, now that the radio is more powerful and he has access to more songs and things that you supplied him, is able to transmit throughout southern England, and as a result becomes a little bit of a sort of hub for ghouls and a little bit of a kind of bohemian encampment, really. Bunch of immortal beat poets. It's funny, 200 years and they still can't make good poems.
How's Detective John Downs enjoying retirement?
Yeah. I don't go with them to the U.S. I try to find a spot that's, a little plot of ground where I can, plant some vegetables and just relax. That's enough adventuring. He wants to retire.
Yeah, cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
Where you and your three-legged dog can just retire in peace.
Yeah, and before he does, he asks Betsy, you're great with kids, and you obviously don't want to be out shooting people and stuff. What do you think about settling down and having some kids?
She looks at him mournfully. Oh, detective, you're sweet, but you're an aggressive, almost psychopathic drunk. Do you know what? When I first came out into this into the real world, I hated it. It was smelly and dusty and dry, and everything seemed to want to kill me. But you know what I learned? That we can do this. We had Vera. We had Anton. We even had that ghastly metal cunt Jeeves. And you know what we did? We started to create a new melting pot. And that's what I want to be part of, Detective. I'm going with them. I'm going home.
Well, you'll be missed. I'll see if I can find another girl as nice as you. And like I said, I'm going to retire. It's too much for me. Too much violence.
Betsy resists the urge to sort of, set up a huge disaster situation by recommending him to try Martha instead.
No. Martha's too much the action girl.
Martha gives Detective John Downs a great big bear hug to say goodbye. Then turns to Betsy. Betsy, I don't know if you felt the connection that I did, but when you come to America, do you want to move in with me?
Now, now Betsy, in her customary manner, misses that signal altogether and goes, roommates? Oh, that'd be great!
And that's how it goes.
All right, so we're done. I hope you enjoyed it and this little experiment of having a slightly longer mini campaign. Back to one-offs. Yeah, we're back to one-offs next time. But next week is T-shirts game, whatever you're running.
Yep.
All right, thanks everyone for watching. I will close out the stream. If any of the players want to hang around for a little bit, we can chat for a little while. All right. Toodles.
Bye.
Bye.